Hello there and welcome back to my channel. I am the Rogue Witcher. Thank you for joining me. If you're new here, I do content for things Star Wars, Marvel, DC, anything sci-fi, fantasy, geek horror, supernatural related basically. In today's video, we will be doing a review and breakdown of It Welcome to Derry episode 6. So stick with me as I go over the highlights of the episode, give you my thoughts and theories about it, and yeah, just overall break down the episode. Just before we do though, guys, if you can, smash the like button. I know, but that pesky algorithm keeps on plaguing us small channels, so we have to keep up with it, and the best way to get us seen by people and in the algorithm is likes and comments. So if you can, keep showing support. I appreciate it, because we've been doing very well lately, so thank you very much for that. No more waffling. Let's get into the review and breakdown of It Welcome to Derry episode 6. We start off with a really cool flashback into 1935, Juniper Hill, the insane asylum. It's a really cool black and white aesthetic look. I really like the way they did that. Really made us feel like we are back in that sort of time. And a really sort of weird sort of lady who clearly works there is taking this little girl out of her room and down all the way to the basement. She says that she's been, contacted and someone has been speaking to her, and it happens to be a clown. The lady says, look, no one's here, you're going to be absolutely fine. Kind of weird why she would take a girl down out of a room there. That will get explained later. But then just as we think, oh, it's okay, we see a red balloon float on by, and the contrast of the black and white and the red balloon really made it pop. It looked really cool. And just as it enters a doorway, a hand reaches out and steps across is, of course, Pennywise the clown. It was a really cool shot. I really like the way they did it. Him holding, because he was in black and white as well, him holding the red balloon, like I say, it really made it stand out, and he holds it above his face and then he lowers it and you see his face on the reveal. Very cool start to the episode, very eerie. I really dug it. We then pick up with Leroy and his wife talking about the events of the previous episode with Will, over that he was being, very reckless, going down into the tunnels of his friends. He could have died. He's obviously dealing with the pain of what happened to his friend, what he did to his friend, obviously inadvertently, and he's dealing with all of that. And he's basically scolding his son, saying, listen, you're not going anywhere, you're staying here, this is where it's safe, we can't risk it. And fair play to Will, he stands up to his dad, he's like, dude, jog on, no. I'm going to be there for my friends, I'm not going to abandon them. This is serious. They're in danger and I'm not stepping away. Lee was like, you'll do as you're told. He's like, no, I'm not going to abandon my friends. You might want to. The way he said it, obviously he alluded to what he did with his friend, and obviously that riled him up. And then he slapped Will right across the face. It was very forceful. He felt bad straight away. Obviously he was dealing with a lot of emotions with what's just happened, and Will runs away. I thought it was a really cool scene, a really cool dynamic between father and son, and the way he just stood up and just wasn't taking it, and I really like that. We then go to our usual hangout spot, and the kids are there discussing with Lily the weapon. She's showing them, explaining what happened down in the tunnels, the hieroglyphics that lit up when Pennywise was near, and how he backed away and was scared, and she's alluding to that this is a weapon and maybe we can use it, and maybe we should go back down there and try and finish the job. Ronnie Grogan, however, does not like that plan one little bit. Her and Lily have a bit of a heat-to-heat, head-to-head sort of row. She's saying, listen, you're getting us all killed. This is all your fault. If this weren't for you getting involved, I wouldn't have been at the cinema. None of this would have happened. Maybe they would have been alive, those kids. This is all on you. You should have been left at Juniper Hill, which obviously was a bit mean. But yeah, so she runs off. Will goes off to try and cool her down. But I noticed that Lily seemed very protective. Every time someone tried to get near the weapon, she was just, getting a bit handsy, like, oh no, don't touch it, just look at it. And I understand that thing's just saved her life, and she feels in danger. And if this is the only weapon, I wouldn't want them trying to take it either. If I've got this, I'm safe. Sounds horrible, but dog eat dog world, man. I'm looking out for me first. So yeah, obviously sort of the group splitting up now, maybe. Like I said, shortly after, Will ran after Ronnie, and they have a cool heart-to-heart and, talk about what just happened and, what's best going forward. Then his mum turns up. You're thinking, oh, what's that about? Just before they were going to kiss, by the way. I know, love stories are brewing in this episode. Will and Ronnie are definitely getting on. But Miss Hanlon drives them to the Air Force Base. You're thinking, what's that about? But of course, she's reuniting her with her dad. He is hiding out at the bit where Halloran and his other black Air Forcemen sort of staying and hanging out in this sort of area that they've been given, and they're taking him in and obviously hiding him to protect him. We then get, for me, maybe the best scene of the whole episode. There was a few good ones, maybe not in action terms, but we got some really good dialogue. And for me, the great scene is Leroy talking to Halloran. Halloran obviously has returned. Leroy goes and confronts him and says, dude, what happened down there? Where was you? What happened? Everything. And then Halloran explains. He explains that basically when he was a kid, he has these powers, but there's more to it. And his grandmother has a little bit of it, and she helped him. But basically he sees dead things, dead people, dead spirits, and if you engage and you interact, they bombard you with voices, and it can be overwhelming, and it can be very, you know, distressful and disturbing. So she taught him to lock it all up in a box, the box we saw in the previous episode, and lock it away. And he did that since he was 9. And so then he's been okay. But of course Pennywise breaches it, and now all of that is unfolding in his head, and he hasn't had to deal with it since he was a kid. So he is seeing dead people and dead things, and he's very scared to engage because he knows once he does, that will allude to things and make him maybe go crazy. Leroy doesn't really care. He's like, dude, we need to use this to our advantage to maybe find out things from dead people, maybe people Pennywise has killed, to find out more about him, to stop this. This is still the mission. Halloran's like, you can piss off, basically. Leroy's like, whoa, I'm your commanding officer. And he stands up and says, I don't care. We're dealing with monsters, man. Who gives a crap about the chain of command? Get out. Leroy's like, you need to think about your position, you know. Yeah, we can have you arrested. You're refusing, you know, to undo your takings as a Air Forceman. So think about it, sleep it off. You've had a rough day. But I really liked their dynamic of going back and forth, finding out about Halloran, the box, and his gift, which I thought was really cool. And Leroy just now being fully just accepting of what's going on and all these crazy things. And you know, he would have never accepted it prior, these crazy things. But now that he's seen it up and close, he's now just, everything's plausible, everything's possible. Tell me what you think down in the comments below. We then get a clip of Lily at school, and she's sort of, you know, checked out. She's getting flashbacks of what happened down in the tunnel. She's thinking about it. She's holding the weapon, and as she opens up her desk, of course, there is her dad and all the parts. Pennywise is continuing to plague her, continuing to mess with her. She sort of freaks out and sort of starts screaming at it, holding the weapon as if she's going to use it, and then runs out of the class. I thought it was a really cool scene, and it's interesting that Pennywise is still choosing to mess with her, knowing that she has the weapon. I thought that was pretty interesting. I thought maybe he'd back off from her and go after some of the others, but he seems still focused on Lily. We then get a really cool scene. This episode really did well for bonding kids. So we had the Will and Ronnie sort of dynamic in this episode, and we also get Richie and Marge. They seem to bond a lot in this episode, and you know, really get closer and closer. And my favourite was at the school, where Richie and Marge are talking over lunch, and then the patty cakes. Worst name ever for a group of girls, but okay. The patty cakes come home and say, Marge, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah. Why aren't you hanging with us? Why are you hanging with these freaks? What happened with Lily? And Marge finally stands up for herself, tells them where to go, and she removes her bandage and shows them the eye and says, I'm a freak too, and scares them. One of the girls even throws up. It was hilarious. And I was just really proud of Marge just standing up for herself and realising what's right. And it was just quite funny, really, just to see it happen. But seriously, patty cakes, come on, what a terrible name. We then get maybe the most pivotal bit of the episode. Lily goes to her good friend Ingrid, as she has been throughout the whole season, but I've always felt there's something off about her. She's obviously been with Mr. Grogan. We found out that the last episode. Anyway, Lily goes into her house because no one answers, and she climbs upstairs and she finds a book, and it's sort of a scrapbook of her family history, and she's turning page, and then she sees a man, and he looks very familiar, and of course it is very seemingly Pennywise. But how is this possible? Ingrid then turns up and says, what are you doing here, Lily? She's like, listen, I just came to talk to you. And she explains what happened down in the tunnels. But then she notices that there is a lot of clown stuff in the background of this attic. And she even sees a picture of what I'm guessing was Ingrid's father, who turns out that she reveals, was a clown performer in a circus as known as Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Her father then died, aka Pennywise probably killed him, and liked the mantra, realised that kids would trust him, and this would be a much easier way for him to go about it than he had been previously over the hundreds of years, to take on this persona, to lure kids in, so it'd be much easier. So he takes over the mantle of Pennywise, the dancing clown. Ingrid, turns out, hoping to re-see Pennywise, was actually the clown in the picture from one of the earlier episodes when they were at the graveyard, and also outside the house. She's been turning up hoping to see Pennywise dressed as a clown herself. Why? Because we go back to the flashback at Jupiter Hill in 1935, and it turns out that that young employee who had took the girl down, Mabel, the kid, down to the attic, was in fact Ingrid, and Pennywise attacks them. She runs, she tries to save Mabel, but of course she slips, door shut, she can't get it open, and Pennywise kills her. Pennywise then appears to her as her dad, and she believes it. I mean, she is totally loony. No wonder she works there. She is brainwashed. She believes that it's her dad. Pennywise is still her dad, and that he's still in there. There's a great line where she says, no. Lily says about death, she goes, well, you know what they say in Derry, dear. No one truly ever dies. So she also alludes to that she did some bad stuff, like she had to do what she had to do, as in maybe she took more kids down there to sacrifice them to Pennywise because she thinks she's helping her dad. She says she won't harm Lily, but the other kids, all bets are off. Ingrid's a wrong, and bloody Mr. Grogan needs to throw her to the wolves. Who cares what her husband does? She's bad news. We then get towards the end of the episode where everyone is hanging out at this place, which I thought was on the military base, but I'm guessing it's not, because how else would everyone access it? But it's sort of been the hangout for these black military airbasemen away from everything, so they're not judged and can just sort of do their own thing. And they've invited tons of their friends around, and they're having a bit of a music, a do, if you will, a party. And the other kids have turned up, except Lily, to try and convince Ronnie to rejoin the group, because their best shot at defeating Pennywise is together as a group. That falls on deaf ears as she says, I'm not leaving my dad. That's just not happening. Marge and Richie end up drinking, I'm guessing that's alcoholic Coke. Oh my God, what are they doing? Give alcohol to kids. Crazy. But their bond really starts to get close. There's a cool scene where Richie gets to play the drums and he impresses and he looks like the man. It's a pretty cool scene, but it ends on a very dark note. As two of the people are outside having a drink and flirting, it looks like the mob of white people who are looking to lynch Mr. Grogan turn up in their cars, all wearing these white masks, maybe obviously not white hoods, but white masks, as they alluding to the KKK kind of thing. It's not probably going to go too well for them in the next episode. Interesting. I thought this was a really cool episode. We got a lot of dialogue, not in terms of action, but we got to really, to find out about Ingrid and how crazy she is and what she's been doing over the years, believing this is her dad in some reincarnation weird way, I don't know. And in fact, what she's prepared to sacrifice and do for Pennywise. I mean, she's dressing up as a clown herself. I mean, she's tapped, man. I really liked that we got a lot of background on Halloran and explaining his story and what's going on and how that all plays into it, aka The Shine. Leroy dealing with it, trying to fathom what to do. He still believes we need to finish the mission. He's angry as well what's happened to his friend. He wants to take Pennywise out. We got to see Pennywise again in a really cool, gruesome, evil scene where he chases after that poor kid in 1935 and kills her. I thought it was a very good episode. It's filled in, again, a lot of crucial information for us and sets us up for the final few episodes, which I think we're in a very good place. I think so far, again, it's been brilliant. It's been a really good show. This episode I thought was very good. Like I say, really just a lot of great dialogue, a lot of really cool scenes, and a lot of very important information. But I want to hear from you guys. Right then, guys, tell me what you think about this episode and the season as a whole down in the comment section below. I want to engage. I want to talk to you guys. I want to hear your opinions, your theories, everything. I reply to every single comment, so I'd love to hear from you. If you can, smash a like on the video. I know, that pesky algorithm, but we need to beat it. And subscribe if you want to stick around. I've hit my goal, guys. I set a goal of 200 by my first year of YouTube. I hit it. I set a goal of 250. I've hit it. And we've still got time. I'm now going to try and set the goal at 300. I know. Small channels, so every subscriber really counts, especially getting to that first 1,000. So thank you for everyone who's done it so far and is sticking around and supporting the channel. Thank you so much. And if you want to join, please do join. I'd love to have you over here. Right, guys, that has been the video. That's been the review and breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to let you go. As always, I'll catch you in the next video, guys. I've been the Rogue Witcher. Adios.